What you described. How could Torvasad change a memory of Hermaeus Mora? How could he alter what happened so long ago? Such a power should not exist. This sensation, bafflement. I do not care for it.
Torvasad has allies as well. Master Telvanni, Vermina and Periite. Lightcrown and the hidden kindred cultists. They seek to restore memories stolen from them by Hermaeus Mora. And from what you saw, Torvasad has started the restoration process. Yes, most puzzling. Torvasad's next step must involve the right Master Telvanni seeks to draw from Meln's Black Book. Return to Necrom and find Curate Gadain. See what Telvanni is up to. Meanwhile, I have other inquiries I wish to explore. Remember, as long as Telvanni possesses the Black Book, she can complete her rite. If they fully unlock this forgotten secret, multiple realms are doomed. I shall meet you at the bookshop in Necrom after I complete my investigations. This portal will return you to Necrom, Proxy.
Master Telvanni murdered me to avoid the scrutiny of the Assembly of Masters. What else might she do to further her ambitions?
All that stuff you hear about, apocrypha containing horrors beyond.
The mortal returns. I thought I recognized that wrinkle in the fabric of fate.
I hoped Laramil would be with you. We have news. Scroot and I uncovered the most interesting news. The Assembly of Masters learned of Master Telvanni's recent activities and has called for a conclave. They plan to strip her of her rank and expel her from the house. It's complicated. The Assembly of Masters consists of just their mouths. The actual Masters rarely leave their towers, and never to meet with their rivals. A conclave, however, is a different story. The Masters themselves are compelled to attend. Don't you see? When they convene the Masters' conclave, Telvanni must be on hand to contest the charges. So, we know where we can find her and when. At Tel Hulan, the Tower Hall in Old Isra. As a curate, I think I can get us into the conclave by claiming official Necrom business. House Telvanni prefers to stay on our good side, so they rarely ask too many questions of the Keepers of the Dead.
Curate or not, he'll never get into the conclave bearing the mark of a Daedric prince. Not without my help. Underestimate Telvanni at your own peril. And do not think to just walk into a Telvanni stronghold reeking of Hermaeus Mora. Either Telvanni's Daedric allies or the Conclave's own protections will spot you the moment you step across the threshold. Of course. Wasn't I the greatest magister of my time? If not for my desire for solitude, I would have been the Archmagister. Unfortunately, my spectral body isn't good for anything these days. You'll need to serve as my hands for this to work. Return to Telrendis. Around my tower, you'll find the components necessary to assemble a passable cloak of omission. Look for dried hoaxwort, a lamia-scale shawl, and an illusion tincture of my own creation. I'll tell you more when we get there. this could prove more difficult than I expected. Curses and corporeal existence. I can see why most ancestors move on instead of haunting their descendants. My mortal memories are much harder to recall than I anticipated. I don't remember where to find those components. Not exactly. Of course not. I buried the components we need in separate caches on the tower grounds. I just can't remember exactly where I put them. No matter. With your assistance, I'm sure we can find the right spots. Use my ghost sight. It will reveal the hiding places. Remember, Telvanni is my place of power, despite Shalreni's attempts to make it her own. Here, I can easily use my magic through you, as long as you're willing. I placed sigils at the spots, but on a different layer of reality. Use my ghost sight, and you should be able to see them. The caches are buried beneath those locations. When you get close to a spot I recognize, I'll tell you to activate my sight. Be able to see my sigils through my ghost sight. Look around. There, see my sigil? I always liked this layer of reality. Dig here. I remember this old workbench. We can prepare the Cloak of Omission here. Good work. Now place the components one at a time onto the enchanting workbench. Almost done. Now sprinkle the tincture. Excellent. Now take the Cloak of Omission. Don't just stand there with your soul. Don't just stand. Go ahead and try it on. The cloak will mask your presence and hide your connection to the Prince of Fate. Put on the cloak. You look amazing. Barely a hint of a data connection. I should explain the particulars, though. Not a bad bit of work. You follow directions well. And the cloak looks perfectly dashing. Dashing, I say. Now let's head to Old Isra and meet up with Kirt Gedain. She should have gotten you access to the Conclave by now. Did I? I don't recall. But if you're asking about the Cloak of Omission, it can only shield you from so many scrying attempts. Eventually someone will notice you. But the enchantment should last long enough for us to get our hands on Shalreni. Now that you mention it, yes. Gedain can get you on the access list, but you must play your part. Dunmer laws are labyrinthine, Telvanni especially. You need to invoke... Just say the following to the sentry at the door. I hereby invoke the 26th statute of the Necrom Agreement, and then demand entry to the Conclave. Can you remember that? Once we get inside, we can meet up with Curate Gadain. What could Shelreni be thinking? She's obviously counting on the support of two Daedric princes. But does she really expect them to magically elevate her to the rank of Magister? Let's get to Tel Hulen in Old Isra and see if the cloak works. Tel Hulen, the Tower of Halls, home to the Assembly of Masters. Remember to invoke the statute when you demand entry, and put on the cloak.
Know that rule? As Master Shalreni's mouth, you are prohibited from entering the Conclave.
But I must warn the Masters.
Don't worry. Your treacherous master will be dealt with soon enough.
You must warn the other Masters. I can no longer stand by and do nothing while Master Shalreni continues along this dark path. Her actions threaten the entire peninsula. You probably shouldn't, but that doesn't mean I'm lying. I admired Shalreni for her skill and power. Thought she would help me rise in the ranks. But her ambition and contempt for her fellow Telvanni will doom us all. Master Shalreni made a deal with not one, but two Daedric princes. She plans to use their help to eliminate all who oppose her so she can become Archmagister. The Masters won't listen to me. They don't understand the danger. I'm not sure. Master Shalreni stopped confiding in me. But I know how she thinks. She has no respect for the Masters or this Conclave. When they move to reprimand her, she's going to show them just how powerful she's become. It will be a bloodbath.
The Master's Conclave is in session. All other business is on hold. Come back later. Necrom, Let me see. Ah, yes. You're listed as Curate Gadain's attending clerk. Very good. You may go inside. I expect you'll find the curate in the Assembly antechamber, as the attending Magister declared the Conclave for Masters only.
You have received clear...
There's Curate Gadain.
Really, I must...
I insist, Curate. You do realize I wield considerable influence as Master Norvora's mouth.
Of course, but...
I could do much for you and the Keepers. Now tell me, what do you think of my book?
That's Master Norvora's mouth. We need to extract Gadain this instant.
The Curate and I are busy, Outsider. I am eager to hear what he thinks of my book, Ancestors of a Humble Mouth. It's a work in progress, but at least 2 booksellers have expressed interest. Come back later. How strange. As no one but Masters are allowed inside, Master Norvora explicitly told me to wait out here until after the Conclave concluded its business. How rude! The Old Isra Committee of Social Decorum will hear about this insult. Of that, you can be sure.
Thank you, my friend. Follow me. I know a place where we can talk privately. We can speak freely here. You arrived not a moment too soon, my friend. Before they decided to seal the hall, and I was trapped in that dreadful conversation with Mouth Elar, I found what we needed. Master Shelreni is here, and being held under guard until the Conclave begins. And now we come to the problem. Magister Gothran arrived from Sadrith Mora to oversee the Master's Conclave. He immediately expelled all but the Telvanni Masters and placed a ward on the door. There's no way to get into the assembly hall. Sadly, disabling a ward placed by a Magister is beyond my capabilities. If you have any ideas, please share them. Otherwise, I fear the Masters are on their own in there.
A Magister? To counter Magister magic, eh? Good idea. A ward needs anchors. Use my ghost sight to spot them. One on either side of the door. I'll lend you my power to see.
She will. The healers recommended she stay in bed, but she is a conclave.
Magister Gothran is good, but I'm better. Let's enter the assembly hall.
This is a closed session. What is the meaning of this intrusion?
Now, Gothran, surely such restrictions don't apply to a Magister and his proxy.
Meln the Mouthless, a spirit. No matter. I will not tolerate your antics.
Nothing in our statutes precludes a dead Magister from participating in a conclave. Now, hear what my proxy has to say.
Very well. Step forward. You stand on shaky ground, mouth for the mouthless. What's so important that Magister Meln dares interrupt this closed session of the Master's Conclave? And Magister Meln thought us so ineffective that he had to swoop in and save the day? How presumptuous of him. Do you really think one rogue master is a match for this assembly? So I heard. Hence the reason I decided to leave my comfortable tower and come all this way to personally take charge of this conclave. The Masters will hear the charges, question the subject, and render swift judgment. Is that why you're here? To add another charge to Shelreni's list of crimes? Then so noted. Perhaps that's why she turned herself over without any fuss or bother, so that she can plead for mercy. Perhaps I'll be lenient. Perhaps not. Enough of this nonsense. I listened to the concerns of your Magister and heard his allegation. Now we are finished. Meln may stay if he wishes. That is his right. But you and the curate should go and leave us to our work.
Over here. I forgot how boring my so-called peers can be. Pity Shelreni didn't eliminate a few more of my rivals before we noticed. But your master, Meln. I have fond memories of his many antics. That's why I wanted a word with you. Your master has delayed these proceedings long enough. Master Shelreni reached above her station and must be dealt with. Anything that postpones that and increases the time I must spend in the company of my so-called peers will not be tolerated. Murder, you say? That is serious. I suppose anything can be expected from a master who makes pacts with Daedra. We really need to strip her of her rank and exile her. Well, if you must see her, she's being held in a meeting room down the East Hall.
I don't understand this necessity for debate. If it were up to me, we'd get right to the vote. Nothing anyone has to say will change my mind about Shelreni. Now then, is Magister Meln really dead? Meln may have confused Magister Gothran, but there's no provision for a dead Telvanni participating in a conclave. It's just not done. Is that a threat? Master Morena led Shelreni through the East Door for making similar pronouncements only a few moments ago. If that can happen to a master, imagine what's in store for a lowly mouth like you.
I forgot how bored...
There's a meeting room just to the right. This must be where they're holding her.
Shalreni's gone, but what's that tipped-over bottle over there? That's pure essence of dream. Let me cast a spell to see what happened here.
What was that? Just a little gift from the Prince of Dreams. Soon, you will do exactly as I say.
You won't get away with this.
I already have. And with your help, I'll get away with so much more. Now let's go attend the Conclave. My ascension requires participants, willing or otherwise.
We must get to the Conclave. It's held in the Master's private hall to the north.
Something's going on to the north. I think the Conclave is starting.
Master Shalreni, you stand accused of conspiring against your fellow Telvanni, murdering Meln the Mouthless, and consorting with Daedric princes. How do you plead?
A Telvanni doesn't plead. But I will kill you all before I take my sacrifice every time.
Help me, Magister!
Shalreni, cease your actions this instant.
Use my ghost sight to disable the wards and get down there. Second time.
You're finally awake. Thank the ancestors. I thought Shalreni killed you.
We should talk, Mouth of Meln. The Mouth of the Mouthless. I suppose you want me to say that you and Meln were right. That I should have taken Shalreni's threat more seriously. Well, let's pretend I said that and move on to what needs to happen next. Yes, quite a display. She used the Conclave to formally announce her intentions. Her spell would have killed everyone, and positioned her to challenge the Archmagister for rulership of the house. Luckily, I was on hand to save the local masters. Shalreni may be a powerful master, but I am a Magister of the Telvanni Council. It was a simple matter to deflect her attack while the Conclave dispersed. Then, I stabilized the portal she fled through, assuming you would want to follow her. Really now, who do you think Meln consulted when he first invented his Cloak of Omission? I see the mark of Mora upon you. House Telvanni wants no part in the machinations of Daedric princes. Just make sure to kill Shalreni when you find her. Master Morena revealed her inadequacies when she allowed herself to be captured. The other masters survived. In both cases, House Telvanni won. If you plan to chase Shalreni, I suggest you leave now. I'm not going to hold that portal open forever.
This ancient ruin. Those markings. This place is dedicated to their Mina.
I think we visited the memory of it in the Eye of Mora.
This chamber appears promising. We should look around. Anything relevant in those papers? Was there anything in those papers about Master Shelreni or where we might find her? She writes about how Torvasad came to her, indoctrinated her into Vermina's service, how he was consumed with restoring something that was either stolen or lost, and how he insisted they find this ancient shrine. Interesting. So they sent the malachite mined from the Alavelis quarry here, and she discusses how the hidden kindred were formed to provide the workers needed to accomplish the restoration. Somehow, rebuilding a Vermina statue is the key to Torvasad's goal. This must be where that original memory took place, where Vermina and Periite think Hermaeus Mora wronged them and stole whatever it is they now seek. Let's keep going. That restored statue and Master Shelreni must be somewhere in this old ruin.
Counter this!
Got to be better than that to stop us.
We must find Shelreni and stop her from completing this rite.
Shelreni and Master Morena. We need to free her.
Ingenious. My black book! Looks like Shelreni got past my safeguards. Shelreni's using the restored statue as a focus for her rite.
You will not interfere.
An aspect of Vermina? That's not good.
Away, agents of fate! This vessel will help me restore what was taken from us all!
Don't just stand there!
Now! Now, my disciple. Complete the ceremony and inhabit the vessel.
My ghost. Try my ghost.
Now, friend, free Morena from the binding.
The magic is unstable! Save yourselves!
No! Not when we're so close!
Close my black book and take it. That should end the rite.
Taking the black book won't stop us, and one of you will serve just as well as a sacrifice.
No need to involve outsiders, Shelreni. Prince Vermina accepts your sacrifice and deems you a worthy vassal.
I regret the bloodshed, but soon Mora's injustice will be undone.
With this vessel, I can enter Apocrypha and strike at Mora's heart. With me, my faithful!
We have to warn Apocrypha. Let's return to the Necrom bindery and find Laramil.
Hold still, and I'll open a portal back to Necrom.
Neither Scroot nor I can feel Hermaeus Mora's presence. We both find this unsettling. Good. you are here. Both Scroot and I felt a sudden disturbance in the tides of fate. Something terrible has happened in Apocrypha, and Scroot and I no longer feel the presence of the one who knows. Another significant event in the annals of fate, and I missed it. But Master Shelreni is dead, and Vermina did what? Start from the beginning, Proxy. What happened at the Master's Conclave? So that was Shelreni's plan. Use whatever power the Princess provided to eliminate her rivals and move up in rank. I am glad she failed. But what happened after that? And Blightcrown decided to complete the rite anyway by sacrificing Shelreni instead. Ruthless, but in keeping with a follower of Periite. And you say this allowed Vermina to possess Shelreni's corpse? What happened next, Proxy? They cannot. Not usually. Hence all the trouble that Torvasad and his allies went through to reach this point. At least you saved the Telvanni Masters and recovered Meln's Black Book. Well done. While I ponder next steps, take this. You earned it. Both Scroot and I felt the tides of fate